Y'all, Poshmark is a dumpster fire right now. Let me know down below if you guys are noticing the same thing. So in mid-February, I decided after I did this analysis up here that I was going to stop listing on Poshmark. And y'all, look what happened. I quit listing on Poshmark, and in January, I was at 961, my worst month ever. I stopped listing mid-February and increased my sales. So today's video, friends, we're going to be looking at exactly what happens when I stopped listing on Poshmark. I wanted to move some of my virtual assistance efforts into other parts of my business because Poshmark has just completely gone downhill for me. Kind of see what happens. So we're looking at the Poshmark data. I also put a little bit more money into eBay, thinking that I was going to have a decrease in sales on Poshmark and trying to make up those efforts in eBay. So we're going to dig into all of my information to help me decide what I should do moving forward. Let me know what you guys think I should be doing. We're looking at Poshmark data. What actually happened when I quit listing every single day? Do you have to list every day on Poshmark to make those sales? And then we're going to look at my eBay promoted listing data and see what happened. Was it worth it for me to increase my promoted listing to make up for the lack of Poshmark sales? However, as we saw, I did not actually lose Poshmark sales, so we'll look at that data. And then quickly, I'm going to share a little bit of YouTube data with you. I know this is a reselling channel. You guys want to see that. But what I decided to have my virtual assistant do is try to work on that aspect of my business. As a whole for 2023, I am working on growing the social media, the education, that aspect of my business, because I'm kind of capped out at reselling as far as how much space that I have. So I'm improving what I can with this inventory that I have and making the decisions based off of that, but trying to increase the other aspect of my business. So quickly looking at some YouTube data, was it worth having my virtual assistant get off of cross-listing to Poshmark and start doing some more activities for me on YouTube? Hey friends, if I am speaking too quickly for you, do feel free to slow me down. You can click up here on your YouTube screen, scroll all the way down to playback speed, and put me on the speed that is most comfortable for you. Now let's get back to it. Let's get into it. Let's start with Poshmark. So friends, what happens when you don't list every single day on Poshmark? And the answer is, your sales increase. So this is not what I thought was going to happen, right? In the reselling community, it's, hey, what if you don't list every day, you're going to lose sales, right? And that's not what happened for me. I quit listing new items every single day in February. I do use Posture VA. There's a link down below if you guys want to try it. And I did continue to end items and relist 40 items every single weekday. I take the weekends off. I continue to share. I'll link a video up here that goes through, the Poshmark things that I was doing during this time to get those sales, but it wasn't listing new items. And so something I want to say here before we get into my eBay sales is listing every day isn't necessary, and you can see that in my Poshmark sales. I say this on my channel all the time. The struggle with listing new items every day is you're having to buy new items to sell, and you're having to spend time listing them. You can get sales off of inventory that you already have, and that's shown in this test that I did. It's shown a lot of times on a lot of my eBay videos as well. One other thing I want to look at, so that is my month over month. So how did January do? My February sales actually went up, and there's less days in the month, but how did I do on a year-to-year basis? So now we're looking at the Sarah Style Sales and Trends dashboard. If you're new to the channel, this is a Google Sheet. It's linked down below if you want access to this chart and many, many other charts. I also have a playlist up here if you want to get into this chart and this spreadsheet a little bit more as well. If you're a gold member, you get free downloads as well as a 50% off of this. But let's look at what happened. So we are looking at year over year. We're looking at simply just February, and you can see my eBay sales are on fire. Lots of videos. I'll link one up here. Lots of videos of what I'm doing to increase those eBay sales. We're going to look at the promoted listings in a minute and see if that actually helped with this. And my Poshmark is down, but only down by 400, which is significantly better than it's been the past couple of months. Now, it's not back to where it was, but it definitely did not hurt my sales to the extent that I thought it was going to hurt, right? The thing that we're seeing over here, and we'll jump into promoted listings on eBay in a second, but what we're seeing over here is Average sale price on eBay is actually better. On average, my items are selling for $33. On Poshmark, they're selling for $26. But because I'm doing promoted listings, I am paying additional fees to have eBay put my items in front of more buyers. My fees are higher. And so my average profit on eBay is actually $3 lower, but look at here, friends, it's the volume. I am completely fine with having $3 lower on eBay and paying a little bit more fees because the volume is there on eBay, right? So from here, we're gonna start looking at eBay promoted listings, right? So when I went into this, my what is it called? When you make hello friends. When you make an educated guess what you think is going to happen in the experiment, let me know down below. I can't think, it starts with an H. Oh my goodness. Let me know down below if you guys know what I'm talking about. But what I thought going into this was my Poshmark sales were going to decrease. And in order to keep my sales where I wanted them to be, I'm going to pay eBay. I think I increased it 2%. I increased my promoted listing standards by 2%. Yes, it was going to take a hit, but hopefully it would offset some of that loss in Poshmark. So currently, I was wrong. My Poshmark sales did not decrease, but let's take a look at what happened when I increased my promoted listings on eBay. So we are on, if you're new to eBay, or if you don't know where I'm at, I am on my seller hub. I'm on marketing. I'm down here on my dashboard. I have a campaign going for promoted listings. So promoted listings is essentially paying eBay to promote your listings, to put your listings in front of potential buyers. So not just when people are searching for it on search, but if they're looking, someone's looking for a pair of Wrangler jeans and I have a pair that's very similar, they're looking at the listing and then down at the bottom, it's like, hey, these are similar items you might be interested in. That's where they're putting my items. If you do promoted listing standards, the eBay will put it in over 100 different places on eBay. I'll link a video up here that talks way more in depth about it, how to look at it, how to set it up. But that's kind of what I was thinking. Hey, if I pay eBay 2% more to make up for some of the loss of sales on Poshmark, is it going to help increase my sales? And you did see my eBay was up, right? We looked at my data. My eBay is up almost $2,000, $1,500. It's up on eBay. Was that attributed to this extra 2%? So I'm on marketing, I'm on my dashboard. I have a campaign set for all of my listings in this campaign, which is the nice thing about setting a campaign. You can look at the data for that specific campaign. I'm not going to go through all of these metrics in depth. If you want to really understand what this is, like I said, I linked the video earlier. What I want to look at is I increased my promoted listings by 2%. I'm going to scroll down to this chart. I have changed the metric to sales. I want to look, hey, this is at the end of the day, did it get me more sales, increasing by 2%? So mid-February right here is when I increased my promoted listings. I added 2% more to my promoted listings, and looking at the chart, it did kind of increase you can see I am getting more of a steady around this $200 mark, where back in here I was not. So let's scroll up and see the data. We can look up here and it said, yes, I did sell 1.69% more items during this time period. My average conversion rate was up 0.5%. What I want to look at though is, did this translate to a dollar amount? Did paying 2% more make me more money, right? And at the end of the day, when we're looking at my sales, so this is your dollar amount that sold, 0.31%, that's pretty much net neutral, friends, but it didn't increase, right? So paying 2% more, I didn't make any more sales. And then if we look at this new metrics that they've said, it's ROA, so return on ad spend. This is telling you, for the money that you're paying eBay, how much money are you making off of that percent that you're paying eBay, right? So it actually went down 0.46%. So no, doing more promoted listings did not overcome my Poshmark sales, because my Poshmark sales overcome my Poshmark sales, but it wasn't worth it to do that. So I'm moving forward, I'm definitely going to decrease that. Regardless of what I decide for Poshmark, I'm going to decrease that because my return on ad spend is not there. Increasing, and this is where I've talked about in the past, is it worth it to increase your promoted listings? And we talked, keeps going up and up and up. At some point, it does cap out. It's going to be different for every single person. Check out some of my promoted listing videos and how to figure this out for you. But yes, at at some point it does cap out. I'm going to go in and lower that regardless of what I decide to do with Poshmark. So I want to quickly look at YouTube for you, because remember, I had a virtual assistant that is listing on Poshmark. Because they're no longer listing on Poshmark, cross-listing to Poshmark, and then taking items off when they sell, and all of that, sell as much, right? And all of that stuff, I said, hey, quit doing that, and I want you to start editing my YouTube videos, right? And so if you guys follow my channel, have you noticed that my videos are starting to be edited? Let me know what you guys think of the editing. I don't like doing it. I've never done it, but I do know it can help viewership and help people stay on your channel and kind of increase your channel. So I started having her do some editing. So let's look at YouTube data. I know this isn't going to make sense to most of you because you're not on YouTube, but what I want to quickly look at is the purpose of me having her edit the YouTube videos was to have the percentage of viewership. So people are watching my videos longer because they're more engaged with the video. That is the purpose. Other kind of reasons to have your videos edited on YouTube, but in theory, having, you know, it edited keeps people's attention longer. That is the purpose. So I started having her edit videos in mid-February, and you can see on this chart, friends, we're looking at the percentage of viewed. This chart is much higher. So yes, people are staying longer in the past 2 weeks that they have, or almost 3 weeks now, that she has been editing my videos. People are watching my videos longer. So it did translate. It did work. Having her edit my videos is actually working. Now the question, friends, and let me know what you think I should do down below, is not listing didn't decrease my Poshmark sales. However, at the end of the day, if I don't ever list on Poshmark again, I'm going to run out of inventory, and I am making sales on there. Now, do you have to list every single day to make sales on there? No, that clearly, based off of what I'm doing, is not a necessary thing on Poshmark. Some of the other things using Poshmark VA, yes, that helps. I'm going to keep doing those. I'm going to decrease my promoted listings again for sure, because regardless of what I decide to do between Poshmark and YouTube and having my virtual assistant do, it wasn't worth it to increase my promoted listings. I wasn't getting the return for spending more on promoted listings. My thoughts are, and here's the thing, friends, is I'm going to eventually run out of inventory on Poshmark, right? So I am going to have to cross list at a certain point, but items are selling higher. I'm gaining more volume on eBay. I get more volume on eBay. So before I was cross listing into a week and putting everything after a week, putting everything on Poshmark. In the past, I used to do a month, and I think honestly, I'm going to go back to having her do a month. And, you know, if it's on eBay, give it a chance to sell on eBay. And then if it doesn't sell on eBay, put it over to Poshmark. And the thought of this is she's going to have less items to put onto Poshmark. And I still want her, she's working on the editing, and it is fruitful for my YouTube channel. So I want her to be able to do that. But eventually I'm going to run out of inventory on Poshmark. So I think I'm going to start having her cross list after a month if the inventory hasn't sold on eBay, so I don't eventually run out of inventory. Let me know what you guys think I should do down below.